Life has this funny way of throwing curveballs at us, doesn't it? One day, you're cruising along, feeling like you've got it all figured out, and the next, you're wondering why things just aren't clicking. Um, as a psychologist who's spent over 2 decades helping folks navigate those twists and turns, and someone who's leaned hard into the wisdom of the ancient Stoics, I've noticed something. The difference between staying stuck and moving forward often comes down to one thing: self-awareness. Today, we're unpacking 6 signs you might be holding yourself back, straight from the Stoic playbook. Think Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus. These aren't just dusty old ideas. They're practical tools for anyone who's been around the block, seen a few seasons, and wants to live with more peace, purpose, and grit. Whether you're juggling family, rethinking your next chapter, or just craving a little calm in the storm, this is for you. Sound good? Let's dive in. 1. A locked mind keeps you small. Let's kick things off with the first sign: a closed mind. Marcus Aurelius, that Roman emperor who moonlighted as a philosopher, once wrote, "If someone can prove me wrong and show me my mistake, I'll gladly change. I wish to change." Now, that's not just some humble brag. It's a full-on battle cry for anyone chasing wisdom. A closed mind is like a locked door. Nothing new gets in, and you're stuck with whatever's already there, whether it's working or not. I've seen this play out so many times in my practice. Take this one client, let's call him John. John was a retired teacher, sharp as a tack, but he'd built this fortress around his ideas. He'd tell me, "I've been managing stress my way for 40 years. Why change now?" His way? Bottling it up until he'd snap at his wife or lose sleep for weeks. One session, I nudged him toward mindfulness. Just 5 minutes of breathing, nothing fancy. He resisted hard. "That's for hippies," he grumbled, but eventually he gave it a shot. A month later, he walked in grinning, saying, "I can't believe I wasted decades fighting this." That's the thing. A closed mind isn't strength. It's a prison, and fear's the warden. Fear of looking dumb, fear of admitting you're wrong, fear of stepping into the unknown. So, what's the Stoic take? Growth starts when you crack that door open. Epictetus, another Stoic heavyweight, said, "It's impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows." If you're convinced you've got all the answers, you stop asking questions. And when you stop asking, you stop growing. Think about it. How often do you see folks double down on a belief, even when the evidence is staring them in the face? Maybe it's a coworker stuck on outdated methods when there's a better way, or a friend who won't budge on a political stance despite new facts. It's not about being stubborn. It's about being scared. Now, let's bring this home. When was the last time you let someone challenge your thinking without getting defensive? Maybe it was a debate with your spouse about money, or a kid calling you out on something you've always done your way. Your first instinct might be to dig in, protect your turf. But here's the Stoic move: pause. Listen. Ask yourself, what if they've got a point? What can I learn here? It's not about losing, it's about winning at life. Here's a real-world example from my own journey. Years ago, I was dead set against meditation. I'd tell myself I'm too busy for that, I'll just power through. Then a colleague pushed me to try it, and I figured, fine, I'll prove it's a waste. 10 minutes in, I felt this quiet I hadn't known in years. I was wrong, and admitting it changed everything. That's what Marcus meant when he said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you'll find strength." You can't control what others say, but you can control how you respond, and choosing to listen is power. So how do you break free? Start small. Seek out one person this week who sees things differently, a friend, a podcast, even a book that rubs you the wrong way. Don't judge, just absorb. Ask, what can I take from this? Don't be afraid to shift gears. Change isn't the enemy, stagnation is. Marcus also said, what stands in the way becomes the way. That discomfort you feel when you're wrong, it's your ticket to the next level. So what's one belief you've clung to that might be ready for a shakeup? Open that mind. It's the first step to freedom. 2. Blaming others steals your power. Next up, sign number 2, blaming others. Seneca, the Stoic who faced exile and still kept his cool, wrote, A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials. Love that. But here's the catch. Too many of us dodge that friction by pointing fingers. It's the boss's fault, the weather's fault, the dog's fault, anything but ours. I've seen this in session after session. One woman, let's call her Sarah, came to me after a brutal divorce. For months, she'd rant about her ex. He ruined everything. Every fight, every bill, all him. And sure, he wasn't a saint. But one day I asked, "What was your part?" She froze. Then it hit her. She'd bottled up resentment for years, never spoke up, ignored the warning signs. When she owned that, the healing started. Blaming others is a quick fix. It feels good, like you're off the hook. But it's a trap. If everything's someone else's fault, how do you ever grow? You can't fix what you don't face. The Stoics saw trials as chances to polish yourself, not as excuses to play victim. Think about it. When's the last time you dodged responsibility? Maybe you missed a deadline and blamed a slow teammate, or family dinner went south and you pinned it on your sibling's attitude. It's easy to do, but it's a dead end. Epictetus put it blunt. We're not disturbed by what happens to us, but by our thoughts about it. That fight with your spouse, it's not just their words, it's how you chose to stew on them. That missed deadline, sure. The team lagged, but did you step up or just complain? I've had clients who'd spend hours griping about a bad boss, but when I'd ask, "What can you control here?" they'd go quiet. The answer's always the same. You. You control your reaction, your effort, your next move. Here's a story from my own life. Early in my career, I botched a big presentation. Slides crashed, I froze. Total mess. I wanted to blame the tech guy, the room, the universe. But deep down, I knew I hadn't prepped enough. Owning that stung, but it made me better. Next time, I triple-checked everything and nailed it. That's the Stoic way. This is on me, and I'll learn from it. So how do you kick this habit? First, pause when things go wrong. Instead of, "Who did this?" ask, "What could I have done differently?" It's not about beating yourself up. It's about building yourself up. Try this. Think of a time you blamed someone else. Maybe you snapped at a cashier for a long line or grumbled about a friend flaking. Now rewind. What's your piece? Did you leave late? Could you have called ahead? Owning it doesn't make you weak. It makes you unstoppable. Seneca said, "Adversity molds us." I've seen it with clients who've turned setbacks into stepping stones. One guy lost his job, blamed the company, then realized he'd coasted for years. He took charge, retrained, and landed something better. You've got that power too. Next time life rubs you raw, don't point, polish. What's one mess you can own today? Take it, shape it, and watch yourself shine. 3. Fake confidence trips you up. Now, let's talk sign 3. Overconfidence without merit. Epictetus hit the nail on the head. It's not what happens to you, but how you react that matters. But some folks react with this loud, empty swagger, mistaking noise for know-how. You've met them. The guy at the barbecue who's got an opinion on everything, but 5 minutes in, it's clear he's bluffing. I've seen it in my office too. One client, let's call him Mike, strode in, chest puffed, saying, "I've got this life thing sorted." Then his company downsized and he crumbled. He didn't know what he didn't know. This is where psychology backs the Stoics up. Ever hear of the Dunning-Kruger effect? It's when people with shallow knowledge think they're experts. They're too clueless to see their own gaps. Meanwhile, the truly wise, like Socrates, who said, "I know that I know nothing," stay humble. They get that learning never stops. Overconfidence isn't just a quirk, it's a roadblock. If you're so sure you're right, you quit listening, quit questioning, quit growing. I've fallen into this trap myself. Early on, I thought I had therapy all figured out. Textbook answers. Boom, done. Then a client stumped me and I realized I'd been coasting on fumes. Humbling? Yes. Freeing? Absolutely. The Stoics teach wisdom isn't loud, it's quiet, curious, grounded. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You must not only correct yourself, but allow others to correct you." That's the antidote. Let reality check you. Think about your own life. Ever been cocky about something, say fixing your car or giving advice, only to crash and burn? Maybe you told your kid how to handle a breakup, dead certain you were right, then watched them tune you out. Overconfidence blinds us. The fix? Doubt yourself just enough to stay sharp. Next time you're 100% sure, ask, what am I missing? Like, what would someone else say? Here's a challenge. Pick one area where you feel solid. Cooking, parenting, whatever. Now, assume you're a beginner again. Read up, ask questions, test it out. One client did this with gardening, thought he was a pro, then studied soil pH and tripled his harvest. Humility builds mastery. Bravado just builds noise. So where's your swagger hiding gaps? Question it, and you're already wiser. 4. Ignoring tomorrow bites back. Sign 4 is a sneaky one, ignoring consequences. Marcus Aurelius warned, what we do now echoes in eternity. Heavy, right? But it's not just poetic, it's practical. I've had clients who live like tomorrow's a myth. One guy, let's call him Dave, blew his savings on gadgets and trips, chasing the high. Retirement hit and he was scrambling, stressed out of his mind. Short-term fun, long-term pain. The Stoics say every choice, big or small, ripples out. Think about your week. Ever skip a workout because one day won't hurt? Or snap at someone in a bad mood, figuring they'll get over it? Those little moves stack up. I've seen it in marriages, couples who let small grudges fester until they're strangers. Seneca said, it's not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. Foolishness is chasing the quick fix. Wisdom is playing the long game. Here's a personal one. I used to procrastinate on writing, emails, reports, you name it. I'll do it later, I'd say. Then deadlines loomed and I'd be a wreck. One day I asked, what's this costing me? The answer? Peace, sleep, sanity. Now I tackle stuff early, and it's like I've gifted myself extra hours. That's Stoic foresight. What kind of person do I want to be? Does this get me there? Try this. Before you act, hit pause. Ask, what's the ripple? Overspend today and you're tight tomorrow. Skip that call to a friend and the gap widens. Epictetus said, first say to yourself what you would be, then do what you have to do. Picture your best self, healthy, connected, steady. Align your moves to that. One client started this with diet, swapped soda for water, lost 20 pounds, felt like a new man. Small choice, big echo. What's one decision you're facing now? A purchase, a conversation, a habit? Weigh the fallout. You can't control everything, but you can control this moment. Marcus said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Use it, plan ahead, live with purpose. What's your next echo? 5. Negativity drains your soul. Number 5, spreading negativity. Seneca advised, associate with people who will lift you up. Simple, but gold. I've seen gloom wreck lives. One client's constant whining turned his kids into ghosts around him. He'd say, I'm just venting. But it's not venting. It's a virus. It infects your mood, your home, your soul. The Stoics believed peace starts inside and flows out. If you're a storm, everyone gets wet. I've been there. Years back, I'd grumble about traffic, weather, anything. Felt righteous for a minute, then miserable all day. A mentor called me out, you're choosing this. He was right. Marcus Aurelius wrote, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Dark thoughts, dark life. Bright ones, you light up everything. Why do we go negative? It's easy. Blame the world, feel validated. But it's a dead end. I've had clients who gossip to bond, criticize to cope. One woman trashed her sister nonstop. Turns out she was jealous. Once she faced that, the venom stopped and they rebuilt. Negativity's often a mask for something deeper. Here's the fix. Catch yourself. Next time you're about to complain, say about a rude cashier, flip it. How can I make this better? Smile. Let it go. Move on. Epictetus said, it's not what happens, but how you react. I've seen this shift families. One guy quit griping at dinner, started asking questions instead. His wife said it felt like a new marriage. Try this. For one day, track your words. How much is negative? Then swap it. Gratitude, solutions, silence. It's not fake positivity, it's power. Seneca said, protect your inner peace. Don't let other storms or your own drown it. What energy are you putting out? Be the calm, not the chaos. 6. No empathy, no connection. Last up, sign 6, a lack of empathy. Epictetus nailed it. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth. Listen twice as much as you speak. Simple, but profound. I've seen empathy gaps tear people apart. One client, let's call him Tom, couldn't figure why his daughter stopped calling. She's just moody, he'd say. Took months to see he never asked how she felt, just lectured. Empathy isn't fluff, it's glue. It holds us together. Foolishness ignores that. It's easier to judge than to care, but Marcus Aurelius said, "What injures the hive injures the bee." We're linked. Your pain, my pain, it's all one web. I've been guilty too. Once, a friend vented about work and I jumped to fix-it mode. He snapped, "I just need you to hear me." Lesson learned. Listening beats solving sometimes. Empathy's smart. It cuts through noise, builds bridges. Seneca wrote, "Wherever there's a human being, there's a chance for kindness." I've seen it heal. One woman, mad at her brother for years, finally asked, "What's he going through?" Turns out he was drowning in debt. She reached out and they're tight again. How do you grow it? Start with ears on, mouth off. Next time someone's upset, your spouse, a neighbor, don't rush in. Hear their tone, their story. Picture their day. Marcus said, people will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant. Meet them with compassion. They're stumbling, just like us. Here's a trick. Think of a time you felt ignored. How'd it sting? Now flip it. Give someone that understanding you craved. One client did this with his grumpy boss, asked about his stress, got a real talk instead of a fight. Empathy's strength, not softness. Where can you listen deeper today? It's your bridge to wisdom. Conclusion. All right, there you go. 6 Stoic signs you might be holding yourself back. A locked mind, blaming others, fake confidence, ignoring tomorrow, negativity, and no empathy. These aren't just old school warnings. They're your roadmap to a better life. Whether you're wrestling with change, seeking calm, or just want to feel more connected, the Stoics have your back. Pick one. Open your mind, own your part, listen more, and start today. You've got the years, the grit, the heart to make it stick. Drop a comment. Which sign hit you hardest? Hit that like button, share with a friend, and subscribe for more weekly wisdom.